Tales from a Haunted Diner, Part 2, Dirt. The bells on the front door jangle as I walk in to start my shift. 11 p.m. every night, the bullshit starts again. My arm is sore from where Hilda grabbed me yesterday. Luckily, the frostbite seems to only be superficial, but I can still feel a blister forming. I also have blue, finger-shaped marks on my arm. We call it ghost burn. I don't get paid enough for this shit. Good night, ladies, I say, holding the door open for the afternoon shift. Good night, Ivy. I started you a pot of coffee, says Amy, as she rushes to grab her coat and keys. Heads up, Ted's not in a good mood, chimes in Laura. Thank you. They look exhausted. They don't deal with the dead, but the creepy old men who come in before or after a few drinks are bad enough. I see 3 of them at the bar and rush past them, avoiding any drunken conversation or unruly comments. I head to the back and catch the daytime cook, George, as he's leaving. Good fucking luck, man. The shipment didn't come in. I had to 86 half the goddamn kitchen, he says, while hastily taking off his dirty apron. Oh shit, where's Ted? He emptied all the cash out of the register and booked it to try to get to stock shop before they close. We're even out of freaking cheese, man. American cheese. Guess how I made omelets all day? Supplemental cheddar. This is bullshit. People were not happy, I can tell you that. He doesn't even make it all the way out the door before shoving a handful of chewing tobacco into his mouth. Not a good sign. I notice he didn't take out the trash. A nip bottle that he made a half-assed attempt to hide pokes out from under used parchment paper. If there's one, there's definitely 5 or 6 laying around. With the way the customers were acting yesterday, this could mean serious trouble. Stock shop closes at 11:30, and the dead start coming in a little after midnight. That's when our half-off pancake special starts. Dead people love pancakes. I can hear the front door as Joanne walks in. She looks like absolute shit and definitely spent the last 10 minutes before her shift starts crying in her car. She barely gets a chance to put her stuff down before having to take the orders of some more alcoholics. If tonight is anything like last night, they'll be the tolerable ones. Heads up, Joe. We're out of cheese and strawberries and muffins and spinach. The delivery never came in. She stares at me. I can see more tears welling up in her eyes. Ted's at stock shop now. Try not to worry about it too much. They're going to eat my soul or something. Only if they want a spinach omelet or strawberry pancakes. I wink at her and she gives an exasperated sigh. I glance at the clock, 11:30 p.m. Ted comes bursting through the door, groceries in hand. He runs through the swinging doors while checking his watch. You got everything? I ask, opening bags and starting to put things away. They didn't have strawberries. I got everything but the strawberries. He's breathing heavily. What do I do? Asks Joanne. If they order strawberries, try to get them to pick something else. They'll start coming in soon. Try to stay calm, I can't have everyone panicking. Where's Frank? We'll need him if shit hits the fan. It's 11:35 p.m. now. Frank should have come in 5 minutes ago. He's late. Never once in the 10 years he's worked here have I known Frank to be even a minute late. It's dangerous, and only the dumb or dead would risk not showing up for their shift on time. Midnight is getting closer, and if Frank doesn't show up, we're more than screwed. 11:40 p.m. comes and goes, and I can see Ted look sweatier and sweatier. 11:50 p.m. Ted is pacing back and forth, wringing his hands together. 11:55 p.m. Has everyone sick to their stomach? 11:59 p.m. The front door opens, and Frank comes hurtling in. What the fuck, Frank? Starts Ted. He stops stalking as soon as he gets a good look at him. Frank is filthy, covered head to toe in mud. Blood is running down his face and he has a black eye. His nose is definitely broken and his graying hair is a hot mess. "You okay?" I ask, and Joanne is already rushing to open the first aid kit. Some drunk out-of-towner kids were spray painting gravestones. We're going to have a busy night. I fought them off and called the cops, but they did a lot of damage. It's bound to have pissed off some spirits. It looks like this was their second night pulling that crap. "That checks out," says Ted. We all jump a little as the front door chimes. Looking through the doors, the woman who enters is not anyone we recognize. A new customer. She has the trademark ghostly translucence. Her hair covers her face, and I see her shuffle to the bar. She's sopping wet and is dripping real water everywhere. A drowner. Those are horrible to clean up after. Their bad mood often makes them bad tippers. "Get out here, Joanne. We have a customer." She gives Ted a pleading look, but does not open her mouth. The only thing she will get is a reminder that she landed herself here at this job to pay off some kind of spiritual debt. Shorting the supernatural comes with grave consequences. I wince a little as Joanne enters the dining room and the woman looks up. Her skin is bloated and pale, blue veins can be seen. She smiles at Joanne, and I can see a rush of water spill down her parted lips. "What can I get for you, ma'am?" Joanne asks, keeping her composure. "Pancakes. Half off?" The woman gurgles slowly. She coughs and dirty brown water splatters onto the counter. "That would be correct, ma'am." "I'd like 2 pancakes, please. Strawberry." "I'm very sorry. We're all out of strawberry," says Joanne nervously. I can see her take a quick step back as the woman stands up. Me, Frank, and Ted rush out to the front just as the woman jumps over the counter and onto Joanne. The poor girl is having a tough week. The drowner is scratching at Joanne and pulling her hair. I can see rapidly forming frostbite appear on her face and arms as Joanne unsuccessfully tries to push her off. Frank grabs for the woman, and she turns on him. He screams in shock, but the sound dies out quickly as the woman wraps her wet hands around his throat. Frank's face is turning blue and his skin starts to bubble. He's clawing at her hands, but she just won't let go. It takes me and Ted to rip her off, burning our hands in the process. Working on the grill this week is not going to be fun. Frank is unconscious on the floor. "My grave has been disturbed. I cannot go home until it's fixed. I want strawberry pancakes," the woman says wetly. She coughs more brown water onto the floor. She's sitting on the floor now, seemingly calming down. She's pulling at a loose thread on her dirty dress. I can't see her face, but I hear her start sobbing. Joanne jumps up and rushes over to Frank, who's not moving. He has severe ghost burn on his neck and the skin has turned black. "I don't think he's breathing," she says, unbuttoning his shirt as she starts doing CPR. "Call 911, says Ted. "On it." I rush over to the old-fashioned payphone next to the register and dial. 911, what's your emergency?" says a bored-sounding woman. I recognize her. Doreen is one of our small town's only 2 dispatchers. As the only night shift worker, we have unfortunately spoken several times before. "It's Sullivans' diner. We need paramedics, the usual." I really don't need to explain much. Anyone in any night shift job knows exactly what's going on. We're all bound by the same obligations. Keep the town safe, the dead happy, and don't ask too many questions. "Paramedics are en route to you now. It will be less than 5 minutes. What's the nature of your medical emergency?" "Severe ghost burn on neck. Frank is unconscious." The black burns on his neck, mixed with the fact that he has a black eye, blood-stained clothes, and graveyard dirt, makes Frank look like a corpse. "Has CPR been started?" "Yes." I look at Joanne and Frank. She's frantically and unsuccessfully trying to revive him. Ted is crouched in front of the ghost, trying to keep her calm. If she starts again, the situation will get a whole lot worse. Strawberry pancakes, strawberry pancakes, strawberry pancakes, the drowner is muttering to herself over and over. Paramedics have arrived at your location. I hang up as EMTs burst through the door. Joe and Steve, familiar faces. They start the defibrillator on Frank, and within the first shock, he gasps and sits up. The EMTs rush to get him on a stretcher and into the ambulance. I'm alive, Frank gasps out. He's gonna be alright, a night's stay at most, Joe says, as him and Steve start to wheel Frank out. They barely even give the dead woman a glance. Strawberry pancakes, strawberry pancakes, strawberry pancakes. The girl is rocking back and forth, docile for now. I have strawberry jelly, does that work for now? I promise we'll have real strawberries by tomorrow night, says Ted in his best customer service voice. Fine, the woman mutters. Ted winces in pain as she takes a hold of his hand and he guides her back to a bar stool. Joanne has already started cleaning up. More customers will be coming in soon and they won't be happy with the mess. That will be just a minute, ma'am. Joe, get her a cup of coffee on the house. Ivy? On it. I don't need to be told twice. The difficult part now is figuring out how to make decent pancakes out of strawberry jelly. I end up just mixing it into the batter with whipped cream and powdered sugar and more pretty jelly as a topping. Joanne takes the pancakes out, and after a few minutes of staring at them, I guess the woman is satisfied. She disappears, leaving behind a slightly wet $5.95. Ted is on the phone with the hospital getting Frank's room number. He's going to go check on him. Ted is the only person who can leave on shift without punishment from the diner. Frank is going to have a price to pay when he gets back, on top of almost dying. Last time someone had to leave during a shift, the diner took something close to them. Joanne's little dog, Denny, didn't deserve what happened to him. It really traumatized her, going home at the end of a long shift to find her beloved Denny in the oven, fully cooked. She's lucky the diner only went for the dog. It must like her. I'll probably be gone for the rest of the night. I have to sort some things out, says Ted apologetically as he grabs his coat and heads out the back. It's just me and Joanne now. Not 10 seconds after he leaves, the bells on the door jingle and a group of 3 regulars walk in. Construction workers who died in an accident last year. They were regulars in life, too, the definition of loyal customers. The permanently dirty faces of Morty, Logan, and Kyle are a welcome sight. The 3 are usually our friendliest customers, but today their expressions are flat. Good night, boys. We've had a crazy shift so far. Coffee's all around, says Joanne, while passing out the menus. Her voice magically sounds upbeat at the arrival of friendly regulars. The men nod. I can hear everything being said at the bar while I'm prepping scrambled eggs. You look like shit, Joe. Are you okay? That ghost burn is pretty bad, asked Morty. He's had a thing for her since he first laid his ghostly gaze on her. Anyone would, really. Joanne is gorgeous. I got attacked by a drowned dead woman and Frank is in the hospital. Is he going to be alright? Yes, but he's off for the night. I hope the diner understands. He said something about some out-of-towners spray painting graves. Have you guys heard anything about that? We're expecting a busy night with more disturbed dead wandering around. Yeah, those fuckers spray painted mine, chimes in Kyle angrily. I can't even rest until it's all cleaned off. The graveyard staff will be on it tomorrow the latest. No need to get all rowdy, says Logan, the oldest and calmest of the 3. You get to rest in peace. I don't want to hear anything out of you, shouts Kyle. I've never seen him so worked up before. Ghosts can't help it when their resting place is disturbed. They get angry. Luckily for us, Morty and Logan are here to keep him in check. Our graves are fine, yes, but we've been through this before, Kyle. Remember when the graveyard staff had the day off and our graves were dirty? Says Morty. You know that's not the same, you idiot. My grave was intentionally disturbed. And you have no idea how this feels. I'm so angry it's scary. If I see those kids, I'm killing them. We'll see how you feel tomorrow, Kyle, after all this calms down a bit. What can I get you for now? Asked Joanne. The usual, hun. We all want the half-off pancakes, says Logan. I want eggs, says Kyle, in a whiny voice. Shut up and eat your pancakes unless you want to take a turn paying. A man permanently in his 60s is a sucker for a good deal. All I see when I go out now is the inflation. How is a ghost supposed to afford to die around here? Says Logan. Technically, you don't have to eat, says Joanne. I enjoy my small pleasures, hun, Logan says, flashing her a smile full of cracked teeth. I'll get on it right away. The faster the food comes out, the better, especially with the mood Kyle seems to be in. I'm too tired to deal with any more shit tonight. How are you holding up, Joe? I ask, as she comes back to grab the hot plates. I'm scared. I think we should ask them to stay just to keep the other regulars in check. That's a great idea. I'm running around with my head chopped off with Ted and Frank gone. Dish and grill at the same time is not fun. The bells ring again, and I gasp in horror to see about 20 dead people shuffle through the door. They load themselves into the booths and fill up the remaining bar seats. Shit. How many graves did those kids spray? Asked Joanne, looking absolutely terrified. If I had to guess, it looks like they got about 25 in total, if you count Hilda, Kyle, and the drowned woman. Joanne turns and runs out the door, plates in hand. I listen for a few minutes while Joanne is taking the orders, waiting to get absolutely smacked. I hear disgruntled mumbling paired with Logan and Monty shouting for people to calm down. Even Kyle tells someone to shut up and just order something else if we're out. I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have the extra help. They don't seem to be as bad in groups. It's like they hold each other accountable. I guess even ghosts pass judgment. I put my head down and get to work as dozens of pancake and omelet orders pour in. Joanne is refilling drinks and running food so fast I'm worried her legs will give out. I can hear the occasional correction yell from Logan or Marty, but other than that, the next few hours pass without issue. A lonely trucker comes in around 3 a.m., and all the ghosts disappear the second he enters. A normie from out of town stopping by for a coffee and an English muffin. What are you, in the middle of a rush? He says, in a thick southern accent. I watch as he makes a puzzled face at the full plates of food on every table, and in front of almost every stool. Joanne doesn't say anything to even try to satisfy him with an excuse. Your food will be out in a minute, sir. The faster he's gone, the better. The dead don't like to wait very long to get their diner back. It's kind of weird, hun. Joanne stares at him blankly as she hands him his food and a to-go cup. Good night, sir. Yeah, whatever you say. He is basically tripping on himself to get out faster. He must have gotten the normie chills. They never know exactly what's going on, but they can definitely sense it. The second he's gone, all the ghosts reappear again, as if nothing happened. In the same seats, having the same conversations. The rest of the night goes by without incident. Ted comes back around 5 a.m. He informs us that Frank is alive and will be back into work tomorrow. He doesn't say much else after that, and me and Joanne let him have his silence as he helps with the mound of dishes. By 6 a.m., everybody is beat, but it's finally the end of shift. The opening crew stumble in one by one, some of them even having the luxury of being a few minutes late. To them, Sullivans is just a normal diner. The closest thing they'll see to danger on their shift is a regular unhappy customer, not a dead one. They are not in debt to some evil supernatural force, and no one will kill their puppy if they call out. They never leave with life-threatening injuries, and the obligation to come back the next day. Place is dirty. What did you guys even do all night? Asks Jackie. I look at her and smile. Sorry about that. We'll make sure it's much cleaner tomorrow, I say sarcastically. Joanne gives her a withering look and we both head out together. Get some rest, Joe. As long as those graves get cleaned tonight, tomorrow shouldn't be so bad. You too, Ivy. I sure hope so.